What's going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a great day. I just got home from work. That's why my hair is a bit of a mess. I apologize. It was actually my first day back after being gone for 2 weeks. As you remember, I had a little break here on YouTube for 2 weeks as my fiance was coming to visit and wanted to spend time with her because I hadn't seen her in 2 years because of this fucking COVID bullshit. But we finally got to see each other, and it was a blast, and it ended a little too quick, though. I felt like the 2 weeks went by a little fast, but yeah, I wish it would have gone on a little longer, but it is what it is. It's my turn to go there next. I'm working on that within the next few months, so looking forward to that. But as I promised, as promise I'm going to keep, I am back doing videos, so I'm not going to go on some big hiatus again. I'm keeping my promise. And I'm actually resurrecting a series. Not really resurrecting. It's just I didn't really know of another way to do this film because I wasn't a big fan of doing discussion and reviews as I am with Movie Night with Zach. And this was actually supposed to be a Movie Night with Zach before, or no, not before, but it landed on a day that my fiance was here and we both wanted to watch it, which I guess we could have both done one together, but I don't know. I just don't think I was really feeling it that day. So we checked out the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre the day of it, February 18th. And I'm decked out here in my Texas Chainsaw gear, my original. I'm a huge fan of the original. For those of you who don't know, I'm a bit of a purist when it comes to this franchise. I'm really only a fan of the original Texas Chainsaw film. The only other film in the franchise I kinda like is the beginning, because I think out of all the other films other than the original, that's the one that I think justifies why it exists. Like, I hated the remake. We even rewatched the remake while she was here, and I don't like the film. I've never liked it. I've always thought it sucked. But actually that film that film left me asking a lot of questions, and I felt that the beginning answered those questions. I mean, a lot of the argument I hear with the beginning all the time is that film answers a bunch of questions that nobody was asking for. Okay, well, you know what? Maybe you were not asking those questions, but I was. And they answered most of my questions in that film. So I kind of like the beginning. But yeah, you know, the only film I really in this franchise ever really go out of my way to watch is the original. And that's the film that this new Texas Chainsaw Massacre film serves as a sequel to, a direct sequel. So it only wants you to pay attention to Texas Chainsaw 1, even though we've kind of done this already. We've retconned all the other sequels several times in this franchise. So is this the one to kind of get this shitty franchise over that hump? Well, I can ask myself this as well. As a purist of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise, like just the first Texas Chainsaw film, I'm a purist. Did I get what I was looking for when it comes to like stylistic similarities and connective continuity from the first film? Did I get what I was expecting, or at least wanting, for it to serve as like a successful, you know, good sequel to this film? Absolutely not. Did I enjoy this film? Absolutely not. I really hated this film. I don't think it's the worst made film in this franchise. I still think that one goes to the Next Generation, or maybe even 3D. But this film might actually be my least favorite in the franchise. Mainly just because it serves as a sequel. They announced it serves as a sequel to the first Texas Chainsaw film. There's no connective continuity. There's no anything. There's nothing in this film that really would tell me that it's a sequel to this film, minus the opening scene where it shows little clips from the original film. That's the only thing that would tell me that this is a sequel to the original film. But like I said, there's no stylistic continuity. It's pretty much antithetical to what the original Tobe Hooper's classic from '74 was. It's completely antithetical to it. The classic, the original, the great film was all about theater of the mind. It's what you don't see scares you more. So the film really wasn't gory. The original film was not gory, and I think it was more effective that way because I don't know. I've never been the hugest gore hound. I've always been somebody that is freaked out more psychologically through implied violence than actually seeing the violence. This new film has a lot of gore, almost too gory for me. Just very, very, very gory. And that's really what I think all this film has to offer. And personally, for me, I don't feel much of a desire to watch a film if all it has to offer is gore. I did not find the plot to be very strong in this film. I didn't find the characters to be very likable. I struggled to find one character that I actually liked. And I guess the only one I guess I could just, out of pure fan service, even though there's really no effect here, was the return of Sally Hardesty. But even then, bringing her back made no sense. You could tell they took a page out of Halloween 2018's book. And I guess it would have been more effective if it was the actual actress, which Marilyn Burns has passed away. Rest in peace, Marilyn Burns. This new actress, I mean, she did a good job with, what she was told to do. It's just that the script here was shit. The storyline was written horribly. And it really, this movie did not warrant bringing back Sally Hardesty. Because I don't believe that she would be this, like, she's, I guess, what is it, she's a ranger or something like that, and she's been waiting almost 50 years to avenge her friends and get revenge on Leatherface. I honestly never really got that vibe with her at the end of the original film. I like the way that original film ended. I don't believe that character would be hell-bent on killing Leatherface. I think she was more than happy to just get the living hell out of there. So it really didn't make much sense for her to be this fucking survivalist, like living this very reactionary lifestyle. It just really made no sense whatsoever to me. It just made no sense to bring her back at all. But that's kind of, I guess, the climate for today's modern films, especially horror, is just we rely too much on old stuff. We're not really doing a lot new. We're rebooting classic films that need to be, left alone. So yeah, that was a really big disappointment, but that's the only character that I think I had somewhat of an attachment to. The other characters, I can't tell you their names. I just did not care for these characters. I didn't find any of them to be likable. I guess a positive I can give this movie is the trailer made out that they were going to throw in all this, like, socio-political propaganda and whatnot, and it wasn't really hell-bent on that in this film. So I will give it a kudos there, is that my biggest fear after the, oh, you're canceled, bro, that I saw in the trailer, it wasn't so heavy on that like I thought it would be. So I was a little bit relieved. But I really think they could have done something good with this film. I didn't buy, which the biggest thing really that confused me is and this is something my fiance pointed out that I've not actually heard anybody talk about, is the picture of the orphanage, the kids from the orphanage. Now, she said, I didn't recognize this. This is from what she said. This is not, I'm just relaying the message to you guys from what my fiance said, is that I think she said that the date of the photo was 1975 when the original film took place in 1973. So I found it kind of strange that Leatherface, who quite clearly was an adult in the original film, why he would be a resident at an orphanage being taken care of by somebody. I mean, I get he's not all there in the head, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Are they, like, they don't really even address here either that he came from a cannibalistic family. Like, they were cannibals, they were serial killers. They don't really address that. They kind of paint him as this, he's mentally ill and he's an orphaned mama's boy. And I don't see how that connects at all to what happens in the past in the original film. To me, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And another thing that really bugged me about the film was that Leatherface in the original film had a personality. He had a personality. He didn't like. Okay, Leatherface is a product of his environment in the original film, right? He doesn't like to kill. He kills out of fear. It's reactionary. He kills out of fear. These strange people are just coming into his house. He gets to the third person. It was the guy, Jerry, that's who it was, the dude with the afro and everything. And then he runs over to the window and starts this kind of just looking like, where the fuck are these people coming from? How are they getting in my house? And then he sits there and kind of has this look of regret. You can see his reaction through the mask, which I thought was very, very good cinematic language. This film, they turn him into Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers. They make him this killing machine, just this bloodlustful killer that just loves to kill, sadistic as shit. He goes on there and mows everybody down with the chainsaw on the bus. That's not at all that's not in any way similar to what Tobe Hooper created in 1973. It came out in 1974. So, I didn't really understand as well what they were trying to go for with the one character. I think she was a survivor of a school shooting. So they didn't really follow up on that. She just ends up using a gun anyway. I mean, I may have missed the point there, but she was a survivor of a school shooting, okay? Not much depth other than that. And I wasn't expecting some sort of, with this new Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I wasn't expecting some Shakespearean epic and just have all this character depth. I wasn't expecting that. I didn't get the whole school shooting thing. She ends up using a gun on Leatherface anyway. It just didn't make a lot of this film. It just didn't make any sense to me. Like I said earlier, they don't address the cannibal. I just felt like this movie was really pointless, if anything. It didn't serve a purpose. There was, like I said, it doesn't connect itself that well to the original film, but it's supposed to be the true sequel to the original film, and I just didn't feel that. I just felt like it was another mindless, dumb, blood, guts, and carnage slasher film, and to me, that's not interesting. That's not interesting to me. That's not who Leatherface is to me. Okay, that's who Jason Voorhees is. Now, if this was a Friday the 13th movie, I go to the Friday the 13th franchise if I want blood, guts, carnage. I don't go to a Texas Chainsaw Massacre film for that. Me, personally, if you like the sequel, that's perfectly fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But if I want blood, guts, carnage, I go to Nightmare on Elm Street or the Friday the 13th franchise. I never felt like the foundation was laid out from the original film for these types of films to be made. Same with the Halloween franchise. I don't feel like the foundation was laid out for Michael Myers to be, a blood, guts, and carnage kind of, character. But, like I said, this film just felt very pointless to me. I was not a fan of it. If anything, I can give it being nice, give it a 3 out of 10. I almost said 3 out of 5. I don't know. Maybe I need to watch it again. I'm not sure. Like this movie seems to really be divisive. There's people that are really liking it, thinking it's like the second best in the franchise. I found quite a few people on YouTube to be very hyperbolic over it, and it just severely disappointed me. I didn't have my expectations set very high. I would have just liked one scene of connective tissue from the original film to this new film, and I never got that. I didn't get the feeling that this was the true sequel to the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. I just was really pissed off about that. And I think that just proves to me that this franchise needs to be left alone. It's just better left alone. Leave Well Enough alone at this point. Leave the classics alone. Leave Texas Chainsaw alone. Leave Halloween alone. They're remaking Hellraiser now. Leave Hellraiser alone. The original film's a classic. Just leave it alone. But that's just me. Didn't like the film. I'm, Texas Chainsaw purist. I didn't like it. But I know people that really did like it, and I'm glad they liked it. I'm glad that they were able to get enjoyment out of this film. I wish that I enjoyed this film. I wanted to really like it. I just really didn't. And it sucks to say. It sucks. I hate it. I hate that I didn't like this movie. I just probably won't ever watch it again, if anything. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me? Do you not? Did you like the film? Did you not? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'm out. Peace.